I guess I mean, it's kind of funny because I do lack a lot of confidence. I would say that I often, like when I read my stuff, I like just recently I looked at, I was going through the Memory Palace, my memoir, because uh, someone's going to interview me about that for something, and I was looking at it, I was like, this isn't too bad. Uh, so in general, when I'm writing, I'm like, oh my God, this is so horrible. I can't believe people publish this. And I generally am really hard on myself, but because I have the obsessive thing, and I'm really driven, it keeps me going. If I had no drive, I would just be stuck just thinking, oh my God, who am I? Who am I to think I could write a book? But I'm so driven that it just sort of supersedes that.
Even with all this confirmation that,
Yeah.
I've said nice things about your book, but I'm just a guy on the internet. The National Book
I under
Circle,
but
Critics Book Circle, that gave you the award. You've been a bestseller. Wonderling has blown up and done huge, and still you're looking at the empty page with the sense of despair of why am I not a better writer?
well, it's more I don't it's funny. I don't like I know that if I'm reading something that I've written out loud, and if I'm reading something and of mine and it makes me tear up or it really makes me laugh, I know I've nailed it and I'm satisfied. Um, that doesn't happen that often. So I have to use someone as a barometer. Generally the first person is my husband, who's a musician and has an incredible ear. And if I see him just sort of look choked up about something, I know I did a good job. Um, but uh, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I see writers, I meet writers. I know writers who have like huge, huge egos, and and can go on and on and on about their books and their what they're writing, and they'll brag about this and that. And I just I don't know. It's just what I do. I always think I can be better, and I have to say, some of my favorite artists slash writers are really, really humble, and I think I aspire to be that way as well. I think it's if I would give any advice to young writers, I would say always be humble and kind, because um, you know everybody has you know it, everybody has something to offer, and don't disparage other people, be really kind to them and help others along the way. And like one of my favorite authors, author illustrators in the world is Sean Tan, who did The Arrival, my favorite book in the world, wordless picture book. And I was fortunate enough to hang out with him a few times in Australia and here, and he is just one of the humblest people I've ever met. And he also says the same kind of thing. Like, I look at my illustrations, I can't believe they're so bad. Like he has his standard for himself is so high, and um, I think that's part of it. I'm always thinking, oh, you can do so much better. And maybe that has to do with my sister is such a good writer, and my father was a writer, and I never considered myself a writer. I still, when people ask me what I do, I just say, um, I'm I'm an artist who writes generally, or I'm a cultural worker. I don't know what to say
Well,
because
what are you going to do when Disney does the crossover with the Wonderling and Star Wars and Marvel characters, and everybody in the world knows who you are? You can't walk places without people running up and saying you're amazing. How are you going to deal with all that?
I'm gonna call you up, Rob, and borrow. I gotta
Don't
borrow your
call me.
I
I
gotta
won't
borrow
write.
your cat, I'm gonna hold the cat in front of my face. Um, it could be just an introvert thing, you know. I just don't know. I was dreadfully shy as a kid. When people meet me, they don't think I'm shy. Well, actually, if I don't know anyone in a room, generally I don't talk to anyone. If I know one person, I'm obnoxious. So I guess that's the if that's the sociable introvert part of me. Um, so I don't know how I would deal with it. I actually, when I won the NBCC award, there was this big ceremony at the New School in New York. Totally didn't expect to win. I was up against like super famous writers, and my editor said, you know, did you write something down? I said, write what? He said, well, you might win. I go, I'm not gonna win. And so I got up there, and so I wrote like hastily a list of people. Oh, yeah, the face on you just paused. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you. You're
Oh,
right.
okay. Um, oh, there we go. The so I put this little list of people to thank on a piece of paper, stuck it in my boot, and then they called my name, and I got up there, and I just was I have no idea what to say. I just said, I said, wow, thanks for, I said something like, the first book I did was an edition of 10 because it was a hand printed etching, you know, whatever. I said, I just never thought I'd have more than 10 books printed. Thanks for inviting me to the party. I was
I
really,
bet that was utterly charming.
it was very embarrassing. And then I forgot to thank some really important people, but there you go.
That's less charming. I'm sure you made it up to them after the fact.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure that extreme distrust of your own brilliance has the upside. You mentioned you did multiple revisions for the Wonderling, and I'm assuming you do multiple revisions for everything.
Yeah.
When are you able to let go and say, I've done what I can? This is a thing that I'm done with.
I can't remember what author said this, but they said that you're done with your final draft after the book has been out a couple of years, and you're standing up at the podium and you're winning the National Book Award, and you're about to read a snippet and then thank everyone, and you look down at your manuscript and you go, oh, why did I say that? so when are you done? I think I don't know. I think that deadlines really help, and um, and sometimes you think you're done and you're not. Like for the Memory Palace, I was about to send. I thought it was ready to send out. My agent thought it was ready, and she was going to send it out. And I had a friend who's a filmmaker read it, and he said, "This is great." And I'm sure when you get a book deal and you have an editor, they'll be able to fix this one problem. And he mentioned something. I go, oh my God, you're right. Uh, Stop the presses. Like I called my agent. I said, don't send it out. It can't go out. I have to write these two other chapters. And then I did. And he was absolutely right. But I was completely clueless.